Hey everybody, welcome back to Conquest of Aya. And today is actually my first Conquest event that we organized at Titan Games and Hobbies. It's in Timonium, Maryland. And they agreed to start stocking Conquest, which is awesome. They have a good stock, and they have an online store too. I'll put a link in my video description. And I reached out to them like a month ago because I wanted to get a community going here in Maryland of Conquest. And we started a Facebook group. It's Maryland Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings. I'll also have a link to that down below. And today, actually, November 19th, is our first just meet and play. We're not doing a full tournament. We'll probably start those next month. And anybody can just come, bring whatever points they have, whatever models they have to play some games. And I'll be there as well to do some demos. So this video, I'm bringing my 100 Kingdoms there today to play some 2,000 point games. This will be the first time I play multiple games against a bunch of different factions in a single day. So I wanted to go over my 100 Kingdoms list. And this is kind of what I'm thinking that I'll use maybe for tournaments going forward, depending on how today goes, we'll see. And especially with the new scenario pack, I think a lot of people haven't played it yet. We should have like 8 to 10 people there, which I'm pretty pumped about. So let's take a look at the list that I'm going to take, and then my next video I'm going to cover how it did and break down some of my games and how the games day went. As you can see, it's 1910 points. It's actually a veterans 100K list, and there's just no way to do veterans right now in the army builder. Hopefully they fix that pretty soon. The only thing that are veterans on the list are just the 2 household knights unit, so it just adds another 45 points each on there to bring me up to 2,000 points. And the Mountain Noble Lord, we're going to start there in his warband. He's going to be my warlord for that all-important speed of horse. I actually have another video on the channel going over the Mountain Noble Lord and why I think he's so strong right now. As long as you're bringing, I'm just bringing 2 blocks of household knights, but as many household knights as you can throw in there just makes him better and better. So I took the Armored Dominion on him because enemy stands in contact with the character lose Cleave and Smite. And that's huge. I found after the knights charge in with that speed of horse, if they don't quite kill what they are, if you're charging something with Cleave, the knights can get bogged down, and it just was really, really helpful with that defense 4 of your knights to ignore that Cleave roll. So it's just stands that are in contact with the character. So if you put the character into an enemy unit that's 3 wide, right in the center, that's all 3 of those that are touching your unit, which is pretty cool. I also gave him Long Lineage for 15 points, so he could still take the Lorien Lance. And lets him rerolls the failed to hit rolls for his impact attacks, and giving him Brutal Impact 3 is pretty huge. And just on the charge for 10 points, I think that's awesome. It does cost up to 25 points now with the Long Lineage, so we'll see if it stays in. Because it is 25 points that I could cut off my list and maybe do something else with. And finally, I gave him Arms Master for that Cleave 2. I just think once the knights are in there and they're bogged down, kind of the same reason I took the Armored Dominion, having something that has some Cleave on it that he's going to get with his 5 attacks is pretty huge. That's the Mountain Noble Lord. And then in his regiment, we have a unit of 4 household knights with their full command, so they have the Tourney Champion, Standard, and their leader, just so I don't want to fail any charges with them, so rerolling the charges and getting +2 to the charge with the Tourney Champion is huge. They are veterans, so when they are charging in, they're going to be, because of the Mountain Noble Lord's Supremacy ability, they're going to count as Clash 3, and then with the veterans, they'll be counting as Clash 4 when they charge in with their Brutal Impact 2 attacks, which is going to be huge. And you can see down here I have a unit of 5 household knights. That's the exact same. That's where the Mounted Lord's going to go. And that unit is really my heavy hitter, and the goal is for that to hit something, wipe it off the table, and then get around to the flanks or behind my opponent's army. And then in here, just to be cheap, I have Militia Bowmen and Militia. I added 5 extra points, so the Militia Bowmen have a Standard Bearer. And the second unit of Militia, I just don't own 2 boxes of Militia Bowmen. I built one as Militia and one as Militia Bowmen. I would probably make that Militia Bowman just to save on points. I find the Militia die just as easy as the Militia Bowman, and at least the Militia Bowman can shoot some shots while they're sitting on an objective or contesting. I mean, they can't hold it by themselves, but they can contest it, and they can be a really, really good chaff unit to sit in front of your household knights to make sure they don't get charged, which is a big deal. Into my second warband, I'm taking my Imperial Officer, and he's got double time in Bastion, and he's obviously going to go in the big unit of Steel Legion, so they're automatically coming on the board with flank, and he'll give them that Bastion when he draws his card. He's got the full up to tactical 3 to give the flank to the Steel Legion. So you can reroll 1 resolve dice per his tier in tactics, so it's 3 resolve tests, or dice that I can reroll, which is pretty good. It'll be hard to kill those Steel Legion with the resolve tests. The tactical tier 2 is what lets them take double time and Bastion, and the tactical tier 3 gives them flank, and the double time lets the Steel Legion move on really fast up the board as soon as they're ready to come on. The Steel Legion, they're not veterans, but they have a class 3. They'll be on 4 when they charge with Inspired. And I gave them a Drill Master, so they have that Fury draw event. They're awesome. I really like these guys. And a unit of 5 stands of them with the Imperial Officer coming on automatically can be a real problem with your opponent. I'm just going to throw this at my opponent's toughest unit and hope they stick on an objective. Then we have 2 units that are exactly the same of Men-at-Arms, 6 stands each, with the Standard Bearer leader, Seasoned Veteran. Both of these units are not veterans. They're really there just to have the Bastion from the Seasoned Veteran and sit on objectives and just be really annoying to kill. They're not going to do a ton of damage, but they can just bog down enemy units. As long as you're not going to hit anything with a ton of cleave, they should be fine. And then to round out the list, I just have a unit of Mercenary Crossbowmen for 105 points. I think these guys are really good, especially if they get within half range. They're getting all their attacks with that armor piercing. Interested to see how the list does today. I've been listening to Vanguard Garage Gaming. They have an awesome podcast. They're from Australia, I believe, and they're really the only Conquest podcast that's out there that's doing weekly content. And they were going over some of the recent Conquest tournaments. I didn't see any 100 Kingdoms in the top list. They actually didn't even talk about 100 Kingdoms, except to say we didn't talk about any 100 Kingdoms lists today. So we'll see how this list goes with the new missions. I think some of the missions with a bunch of objective zones and markers on the table are going to be tough because I'm only running 8 units. Because some of my units are bigger, and with veterans, those knight units are very expensive. I'm thinking the knight units are strong enough that it won't really matter. I'll be able to punch my opponent off their objectives, so it won't matter that I don't have like marksman clones, for example, that are a medium unit that can sit back on a home objective. And actually, not even all the scenarios even have like an objective back near your deployment zone. So we'll see what I play today and if it works out. I'm also interested to see how it plays. I've played Dwaycombe multiple times, Inspires multiple times. So I'm interested to see how it plays into Wadroon and also Old Dominion, which I haven't played as much into, and I've actually never played Nords, so we'll see if any Nord players come out today. Feel free to let me know what you guys think of the army list down in the comments below. This will be a shorter video. The next one is going to cover my games, how they went, and how I think the list did. But I wanted to record something out there so the list is separate from the actual video of the games to make it a little cleaner. And if anybody is looking to buy any Conquest stuff, I am affiliated with Frontline Gaming. I do some articles over there, mainly 40K stuff under the Bug Proletariat name, but I do some Conquest articles as well. So if you're looking to purchase anything at a pretty decent discount, they're actually getting more Conquest product in shortly here. The new Nord stuff is going to be over there in the Valkyrie, and the Bow Chosen, I believe, just came out in plastic. And if you just look in, there's an affiliate link in the video description. And then if you want to check out Titan Games and Hobbies, that's where we're playing at today. If you're anywhere near Maryland, feel free to join the Maryland Facebook Conquest page and check out Titan Games and Hobbies. Thanks for listening, everybody, and good luck in your Conquest games out there. I know I'm going to need some good luck today to see how this 100 Kingdoms list does.